Hi, welcome to BariNation, where we support the bariatric community with humor, humility, and honesty.
You've just tuned into a podcast that welcomes you into a community, a resource center, and a safe place that powers your journey towards personal wellness.
Our goal is you leave us today feeling hopeful, inspired, and ready to live your best bariatric life.
Hey BariNation, it's April. I have some really exciting news to share with you. We are this year's national sponsor of the TREO Foundation's The Walk. The TREO Foundation is not only working hard to improve access to obesity care, but they fund critical research that improve the treatments that you and I and everyone can access. And this year, their Stomp the Stigma walk is happening on Saturday, September 27th, and BariNation has a virtual team. We would love for you to join us and walk together. Click the link in our bio or click the link down below in the show notes to join our team, walk with us, and stomp the stigma together. Hi, friends. Welcome back to the BariNation podcast. Today, I have the honor of interviewing a brand new expert that I'm pretty sure you have never spoken with, Dr. Majid. Hello, Dr. Majid.
Hi, April.
I'm so excited to speak with you today. I had the pleasure of meeting you at this year's ASMBS conference. The conversation was about weight recurrence, but you are this year's new president of the TREO Foundation. And this is a very important organization that patients should be aware of. And I'm excited for you today to tell us all about this foundation, its mission, and how and why patients should become involved. Before we dive in, though, I'd love for you to introduce yourself to our friends who've never met you before.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. Your meeting at the annual meeting this year definitely left a mark, and I was really looking forward to this day. Thank you for all the work that you're doing in this field. I think it's so needed, and I can't wait to see much more of this. So my name is Saniea Majid. I'm a bariatric surgeon. I'm also an obesity medicine specialist. I've been out in training for now more than 14 years. And specifically focused, if you include the fellowship, 15 years now in the space of obesity. As a surgeon, really understanding the disease, and understanding the disease by spending one-on-one time with patients. So I think I've done the most learning about this after my training. And hence I got involved into obesity medicine. I've always had a very comprehensive, multidisciplinary, holistic approach towards obesity way before weight loss medications was even a thing. As I said, 15 years. So as our understanding of the disease of obesity has evolved, so has been my practice, my own self. And 15 years later, I'm really grateful and consider it as a big privilege to be able to help so many people, young and old, fight the disease of obesity.
You absolutely have one of the most comprehensive programs I think I've seen in a very long time. And that one-on-one connection that you forge with your patients absolutely adds to how they can move through and continue to treat this disease. Knowing that you're so passionate about that, your role in the TREO Foundation is an absolute perfect place, I think, for you to be. So will you tell us a little bit more? What is the TREO Foundation? What is its mission? And why is it an important thing for not only practitioners, but patients to participate in?
Excellent question. And I genuinely feel that obesity is a very misunderstood, neglected, and heavily biased condition. And we all know that, right? People have lived with it for decades and carried the burden of it, not just on their skeleton, but on their mind, their relationship with themselves, their self-esteem, probably the most important thing, then the relationship with, their friends, family, job, employment. The world looks at a person suffering from obesity differently. And unfortunately, so does the patient. So as I got into this, I realized that this is a huge problem and it cannot be solved by just staying within my practice and doing an excellent job taking care of patients that walk through the door, but the need is so much bigger. When the pandemic of COVID happened, I thought that finally this disease is going to get the attention it deserves. 88% of the hospitalizations in the US had one comorbidity in common, which is obesity. And we all know how much the country and the world lost in COVID.
Yeah.
I was disappointed to see that the aftermath of COVID, obesity was never given the significance that it should have. So clearly, we cannot rely on the government, other people to step up. We have to do it ourselves. And that means surgeons, physicians, patients, just advocates, people who care, people who have a loved one or a friend, family, coworker who's suffering from this disease. And today I can tell you there's no household, there's no family who does not know at least one other person who's suffering from this disease. So it touches anyone and everyone. And I would encourage people to come together, rally behind foundation like TREO, which exists for the disease of obesity, because that's what it will take to make a difference. TREO stands for Treatment, Research, and Education to End Obesity. So I think that I don't need to elaborate further as to the purpose of this foundation. What I really want to highlight to all the viewers and everybody out there is that today, losing weight and dabbling in the space of obesity has become a popular trend. However, you have to be really careful that you separate the ones that are legitimate based on scientific data versus the ones who are in this space because it's another way to run a business or to make money. They're more interested in the commercial aspect than the patient care aspect. ASMBS, which stands for American Society of Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery, has been the longest standing official science-based institution for the disease of obesity. A lot of the obesity research has led into the creation of weight loss medications, such as the GLP-1s and the popular trade names like Wegovy, Ozempic, which is a diabetes medication, Mounjaro, Zepbound. Only reason I'm mentioning these trade names is because that's what people are familiar with.
Yeah.
Their existence, the research that led into their existence was actually done by ASMBS, by bariatric surgery. And hence the R, which is the research in TREO, treatment, research, and education to end obesity, is so important. We're just scratching the surface. If we don't fund our research, if we don't fund the education, not just of clinicians, nurses, anybody in the healthcare space, students, this education needs to start from school. We're not going to be effectively treat or end obesity. So TREO Foundation is the official ASMBS foundation. And we rebranded it a few years ago from ASMBS Foundation to TREO because most people would be like, what is ASMBS? And we would spend a few minutes just trying to connect the dots. So TREO, when we say treatment, research, and education to end obesity, people are like, oh, we understand what this is about.
Yes. And for patients, it is exciting to become aware of this type of work that's being done because the funds that are raised, the research that's done directly impacts us. It improves our access to care. It improves our ability to understand more deeply the disease that we're fighting. And it brings hope for us because there are phenomenal treatments today, but that doesn't mean that the treatments will not continue to advance. And that advancement means that we just continue to access the things that we need to thrive.
Absolutely. So and we've done studies on this, again, the research part. An average patient suffering from the disease of obesity has experienced significant bias from their own healthcare team. So their own nurses, physicians. So part of the education is educating the entire healthcare force, which goes beyond ASMBS members. How do we get into medical schools all over the country, residencies, nursing schools? All of that is a huge endeavor. So that is one of the missions of ASMBS and TREO. And imagine if today you, when I'm saying you, whoever is listening to this, as a person suffering from the disease of obesity, does not have to worry about my own doctor, my own nurse makes me feel uncomfortable. I mean, that would just open up the doors, make it so much easier for you to be able to have that difficult conversation, ask for help, and be guided to go to the right expert who understands the disease and is not just about giving a prescription, because that's the simplest thing to do.
Yeah. The foundation serves such a critical role in patients' ability to access care, and it serves as a sounding board, right, for demanding that how people are treated with this disease changes. And it also helps encourage patients to, like you said, make that appointment, have that challenging conversation, because you'll know that what you're going to be greeted with is just empathy and kindness and a partner to help you deal with this disease.
Absolutely.
Yeah. As patients and as clinicians, we invite you all to not only learn more about the TREO Foundation, but to become involved with it. So this year, the theme of the TREO Foundation's walk is Stomp the Stigma. So when we join together, when we understand this disease and we take public action, it helps raise awareness, and it really does help more people access care. BariNation is a national sponsor this year, and we're thrilled to be able to support such an amazing organization and the walk. So if you're interested in learning more about the walk, joining our virtual team, which is free to do so, there are links in the show notes of this episode. Click those links, join our team, learn more about this amazing cause, and stomp the stigma with us. Dr. Majid, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm excited to invite you back to learn more about the research that you've been conducting, specifically around weight recurrence, and really help us connect the dots between the importance of the TREO Foundation and obesity research.
Thank you. Thank you, April, and thank you, BariNation, for the support. Every dollar matters, every dollar. And every effort matters. So even if it is just spreading the word, talking to others about it, thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Well, we know we truly are better together.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Majid. Talk soon.
Bye-bye.
That wraps up another empowering episode of the BariNation podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, keep the conversation going by joining the BariNation membership community, where you can attend live support events, access on-demand resources, and find a caring community.
Join us at barination.mn.co. If you found this podcast valuable, help us produce it by becoming a $5 monthly supporter at barinationpodcast.com.
And just remember, at the end of the day, you've got this, we've got you, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.